Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Other World. I'm your host, the Mad Raven, and in today's episode, we're going to be looking into some of the scariest Bigfoot counters out there. And I'd like to apologize that I've been off the air for most of last week. I'm sorry, I've just been dealing with stuff, mental health and all that stuff. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. Also, if you enjoy the show, make sure to share the video with a friend because YouTube recently shadow banned me for leaving a comment. Which some of you probably will unsubscribe and say I deserve to be shadow banned, but apparently we can't be honest with our opinions unless they're in pro to the pedo in office and his thugs, because, obviously those Nazis here keep shooting Americans for simply protesting, which I think is fucking ridiculous. So, yeah, sorry to get political. Obviously, this is a show about cryptids, so I apologize. I just wanted to make it clear, fuck them. Alright, now let's get into these Bigfoot counters. Also, all these stories will be coming from the BFRO. On September 1st, 2025, about 9:20 at night, I was driving with a good friend and I went down to the Kettle Marine State Forest off Young Road in Walworth County, Wisconsin. Man, I hope I said any of that right. We are both 19, by the way. I parked my truck on this little dirt parking lot that was about 20 feet by 20 feet. Keep in mind we pulled the truck into the parking spot from the back bumper of the truck. The road was about 15 feet maybe. When we parked the truck, my friend who was sitting in the passenger seat next to me looks over and says, "Man, I don't know if we should be here. I feel like we're being watched." I felt the same way deep down, but I told him, "Nah, dude, let's go. We'll be fine." So we got out of the truck and got the bottle rockets we brought to shoot around on the road and to have some harmless fun. We set the bag of fireworks on the driver's side of the seat and left the door open on the side so the lights inside the truck would shine on them so we could see what we were doing. It was very dark back there, and the only light we had was the interior lights shining on the seat, and the back cargo light shining down on the truck bed. We didn't have the headlights on. We shot bottle rockets off for a good 20 minutes when it all happened. I was standing next to my friend grabbing more fireworks off the driver's side seat. I finished grabbing what I needed and went towards the back of the truck from the driver's side door to shoot off them by the road. As I was walking back, I heard something walking on the grass across the street from us. I looked up and saw a large white and grayish black shape moving. My eyes weren't adjusted yet because I was by the lights in the truck. Tried to reason it was a deer or something. But why would a white deer approach two guys shooting off bottle rockets and making a ton of noise? I looked at it and I saw a leg stepped out of the road across the street from me, an almost human looking leg. And then I saw a large object started walking on the street from the left until it was right across from me. While this was happening, I was trying to figure out what it was because I couldn't make it out because of the darkness. Finally, it stopped walking and it was just looking at me across the street. My eyes started to adjust and I saw a very, very large upright figure with a white and blackish grayish hair. I immediately reached back and grabbed my friend and pointed at the figure and yelled, "What is that thing?" My friend looked over, but his eyes weren't adjusted, but he saw the top of the head and shoulders. It started to walk toward me slowly and almost an intimidating manner, approaching me without an ounce of fear. As it approached me and my friend, it made it to the dirt parking lot where we were parked at. And that's when my cargo light on my truck lit up. It had been around 7.5 to 8 feet tall. It looked like it was aging as it had white and gray hair mixing with its black hair. The creature was just very muscular and just unbelievably massive. The thing's face was blackish and almost oily looking. It had black eyes, a slit for the mouth, and I could make out a nose. It was still dark with the dim cargo lights hitting the thing. Also, the moon was behind it, and that's how my friend and I saw the outline so well. Unfortunately, my friend didn't see as much details as I did, as his eyes were not adjusted to the darkness yet. Once I saw how close it was to us and how it was still approaching, I stopped reaching for my phone camera and just told my friend, "Get in the truck!" And as I said that, I jumped into the driver's side and started the truck up. As I got in, I saw my friend particularly diving over the hood of my truck trying to get in the passenger door. Once he got into the truck, I slammed the gas down and went into reverse towards the thing, and it managed to jump out of the way before we could hit it. We took off down the road at high speeds. We came back with my brother and my dad with a high-power flashlight looking for any signs of it, but found nothing. The next morning, my friend and I returned and looked for the tracks. We found spots in the grass where it pressed down from its weight. To conclude, I think this thing was watching us as my loud 90s Chevy pickup was coming down the road and into the parking spot. I probably got sick of us shooting fireworks and just got out of the ditch and walked over in an attempt to intimidate and scare us with its sheer mass. And it worked! The incident only happened yesterday and I decided to report it here. Many other anomalous activities has happened over the years, such as whistles, rocks getting thrown, and angry growls and howls. This next story is about a woman who observed a Bigfoot walking up a dock ramp and into the woods on Herstein Island. On August 15, 2001, I was living in a boat marooned at Gerald's Cove on Herstein Island, or Herstein Island, Washington State. At about 4 a.m., my puppy woke me up needing to go potty. I took her to the back of the dock on our 77 1940s Coast Guard cutter, where we had a potty area set up for her. She kept barking and didn't pee. Finally, I looked where she was looking, across the small body of water to Gerald's Cove State Park. There, under the lights that came on every night lit up the marine park floating dock and stairway, was a large black Sasquatch. Walking up the stairs, he was about 8 feet tall and was slowly walking up the stairs. His back was to me, and I'm sure he heard the puppy barking, but he did not turn or pay any attention to it. I couldn't distinguish a neck. Maybe the hair was preventing me from seeing that. His arms were too long proportionally, not the same proportion as human arms to the body height. I could clearly see the muscles on his right thigh in the light over the stairs. The hair was a bit sparse there. I got the impression he had probably shed some and had his light summer coat on. The skin was black on his thigh as well as on his hand. His hair was black. I watched him walk up the stairs along the walkway until he came to the land. Then he took 3 casual strides and disappeared into the evergreen forest. I watched him for about 15 seconds. The last story is about a Sasquatch crossing the I-80. We were traveling westbound on the I-80 in Pennsylvania near mile maker 169, following another car which was about 150 yards ahead of me. I was matching traffic speed at 77 miles per hour. There are only 4 lanes of paved roadway, 2 for driving and 1 for each for pulling over. 1 right, 1 left. Looking ahead at the car in front, I noticed something in the center of the right pull-off lane and began moving to the left, towards the car in front of me. I immediately thought, what the hell is he doing? He's gonna get hit. I thought it was a person at first because it was moving on an upright position and on 2 legs. I crossed in front of the car. How far in front? I don't know, but I could still see some portion of the head above the car in front. It was a Subaru. I thought for sure there was going to be an impact, but it continued past the car towards the guardrail. At that point, I had more of a clear visual on it. It was completely dark, all the same color. From head to toe, there wasn't anything that stood out as different in appearance. It had more of a slender/slim build to it, and I was about to say, I think long arms that were not held upwards as it moved. It was the way it moved across the road that shook me. Nothing quick or jerky like a sprinter. It was fast, but like a glide or sliding motion to it. The whole incident might have lasted 2 to 3 seconds. It disappeared over the rail completely effortlessly and never stopped to climb over it. So what do you guys think? Are any of these stories real, true? Let me know down in the comments below. And thanks for joining me for another adventure through the other world. If you have your own encounter and want to share it, you can email me at themadraven20@gmail.com. I'm your host, The Man Raven, and I'll see you next time in the other world.